It's a new episode of the Leaderboard here on WTOL 11+, and we're your home for all things sports here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. I'm Noelle Bluemel.
I'm Dan Cummins in for Tyler Sugerman. We got so many great stories this week, from high school to college to the pros, even some youth action here too, all coming up in this week's episode of the Leaderboard. Let's take a look at the rundown. A father-son duo in Holland is turning their backyard football picks into a local Friday night tradition. And an Anthony Wayne Sr. is inspiring his classmates on and off the field. How his faith sparked a movement across the school.
Plus, he's a Buckeye superfan with a big heart. How the Big Nut is turning face paint and football pride into scholarships for local students. Then Anthony Wayne's Andy Brungard on Chasing the Game, and our poll and parent shout out of the week. So let's jump in.
Who doesn't love picking games? It's fun. You can showcase your knowledge, and of course, the best part is those bragging rights. Well, one father and son has turned their high school football selections into a weekly segment. Our Tyler Sugerman caught up with them in their backyard to see how they would fare with Big Board. Take a look.
We're going to go big because I've noticed a couple guys here in Holland who have been making picks all over Facebook, so I want to include them in our Big Board Friday rundown this Friday. So I'm pleased to be joined by Jordan Burdue and little Baylor Burdue. We're in their backyard. You can see the setup behind me. They love football, and that's why I'm here tonight. Jordan, let's start with you, because how did this all come about?
How did it come about?
We love football!
We love football, absolutely. We get to see a ton of games. We grew up around sports in my family with my dad, Todd, and my mom, Amy, my three brothers. And it carried on to when we had Baylor, and we just go to all the sporting events. And our good friend Phil Snow has the SBS podcast, and then we know Tori Strock and Lynn Grohl, who are with the Black Swamp, and we kind of wanted to do our kind of spin on it last year during the playoffs. Got some cool hits on it, and it kind of took off from there. And we did it from week one of this season until now. So
yeah, these videos have been all over Facebook. So cute, so awesome. You guys have worn headgears. You've jumped on tables. What's been your favorite moment this season?
I think getting the headgear when we started with the Genoa game. But I think the Liberty Center Patrick Henry game, us being Liberty Center folks, and that being such a great rivalry, we went to Liberty Center, Deschler, Hammer, Molina for each of our games, and we ended at Liberty Center and had my nieces jump on the table after he picked the Tigers and we got the Tiger head on. So that was probably it. That was probably the coolest one.
We're taking the Tigers! We're taking the Tigers!
And obviously we got some picks coming up here.
Said, get out here, Beaverhead!
Yeah, I remember.
And Bobo and Sissy jumped on the table.
And what, the Tiger head, right? Yes, absolutely.
And obviously you mentioned too, so he's picking games alongside you as well. He's actually doing pretty well this season, huh?
Up until the last 3 weeks, he's been blowing me out of the water. He's at a 30-10 record right now, and I think I'm 3 games behind that. So,
okay.
Yep, heading into this final week.
That's
so
awesome.
we'll see how it plays out. Yeah.
So we're going to go through our Big Board Friday lineup. You guys are going to make some picks. Are you ready?
Absolutely, we're ready.
All right, Baylor, you ready? All right, first up, NLL Showdown, Perrysburg Yellow Jackets and the Whitmer Panthers.
Yellow Jacket!
Yellow Jackets, get it done.
Awesome. All right, sticking with the NLL, we got the Clay Eagles, Northview Wildcats.
Wildcats to win.
Wildcats to win?
Okay.
That was decisive. I'm taking the Clay Eagles after that big win over Whitmer last week.
I'm taking the Wildcats.
I like it.
There you go. I love it. They got nothing to lose. Mona Shores against Central Catholic Fighting Irish.
Fighting Irish to win.
Yep, Coach Dempsey and the boys get it done week 10.
I love it. All right, sticking with the Catholic High School League, the UD Jesuit Cubs or the St. John's Titans?
St. John's Titans to win.
St. John's Titans get it done, absolutely.
I love it. All right, Caztech Technicians or the Bedford Kicking Mules?
Kicking Mules to win.
They're going crazy in Bedford. I am taking the Technicians to get that done.
I am taking.
I like it.
I'm taking the Titans.
Yeah, that would be a huge upset.
Yeah.
All right, staying in Michigan, we got the Ottawa Hills Green Bears, Whiteford Bobcats.
Whiteford Bobcats to win.
Yep, Bobcats get it done.
Love that. All right, NBC now, Genoa Comets or the Lake Flyers?
Genoa Comets to win.
Genoa Comets to wrap up an NBC title.
Yep. Eastwood Eagles or the Maumee Panthers?
Eastwood Eagles to win.
Eagles get it done.
There you go. All right, let's go to the SBC now. Hopewell Loudon Chieftains or the Woodmore Wildcats?
Wildcats to win again.
I like that, buddy. I'm going to go with the Chieftains in this one, though. That's a good pick.
I'm going with the Wildcats.
I like
Okay,
it.
there you go. I love it. All right, let's stay in that division, with SBC conference rather. Willard Crimson Flashes or the Calvert Senecas?
The Crimson Flashes or the Senecas?
Flashes.
The Flashes get it done. I'm going with the Senecas.
Flashes to win.
Hey, he's confident.
Yeah,
he loves
is.
it. He loves it. He's not going to shy away. All right, Perkins Pirates or the Columbian Tornadoes?
Columbia Tornadoes to win.
Columbia Tornadoes to win. I'm going with the Pirates.
I'm going with the Tornadoes.
I like it. I like it. Yep, you're okay, babe.
He just likes the mascot,
Yep,
I imagine,
I
there.
think so.
I love
I
it.
think so.
I love it. All right. Now let's go to a league you guys know very well, NWOAL. We got the Swanton Bulldogs against the Wauseon Indians.
Wauseon Indians to win.
Indians get it done. Absolutely.
All right, and we've saved this for last on purpose because they love one team in this matchup. You can see the setup like I mentioned behind me. You see the colors on Jordan right now. We got the Liberty Center Tigers in a big game against the Archibald Blue Streaks.
Wauseon Tigers.
Tigers get it done. I like it. It's a good pick. Great pick.
I'm thinking FanDuel might be getting with these guys because high school sports, why not? Everything else is going toward the betting and the money.
That was the cutest, and they even have the ties and the little vests. They were ready to show up and show out. I'm surprised we didn't get on this sooner, but I'm so glad Tyler was able to find that. And I like Baylor. He was very instinctual, stuck with his picks, and was very confident, definitely more confident than I was at a young age. So that was the cutest thing I had ever seen.
High school football is big around here. I guess that shows it really is now.
That's true. Well, a barn in Monclova where a small Bible study is held has turned into something bigger, and it's sparked a movement for students all around Northwest Ohio. And it's all being led by Anthony Wayne Sr. and lineman on the football team, Braden Cole. For Anthony Wayne football, senior Braden Cole stands out. A leader, playmaker, and the kind of player every coach wants on their team.
There's a quote hanging in our locker room, and it's about humility. And humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's just thinking of yourself less. And I think that embodies who Braden is.
But it's what happened in the middle of one game that showed everyone who Braden is. When an opponent went down with a cramp, Braden didn't wait for the trainer. He ran over and helped stretch him out himself.
And when that happened, I was actually at his football game, and it was one of the most amazing things ever.
What went through your mind when you saw that happen?
That God is alive and He is moving.
Off the field, that same heart has sparked a movement.
They just keep coming, man. Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
Back in August, Braden started a small Bible study called A-Dub for Jesus. It began with just 14 friends meeting on Sundays, but just 2 months later, it grew into something bigger.
We're really excited for just a night full of worship and praise to the Lord.
On Sunday, more than 200 students packed into a classmate's barn for a night of worship and baptism. All organized and led by Braden.
I don't even know why, but all I know is I was called. I felt Jesus had put it on my heart to do it.
This amount of kids in a room praising the Lord, I mean, I'm just in utter awe.
To create a space where kids can be who they are and hear about Jesus and freely talk about Jesus. To put it quite frank, I think it was just what I was called to do, and I'm just saying yes to that.
They sang, prayed,
I pray this in your holy precious name, amen.
and shared testimonies. And 14 students
Today is the day
had already planned to be baptized that night.
and gave my life to the Lord.
But when Braden invited anyone else who felt called, 3 more stepped forward.
Are you next? We'd love to go next. Let's go.
If you hadn't given me this opportunity, I would have not got baptized for a long time. He's brought a lot of people closer to God. I mean, you see just from all the people got baptized, like, he changed so many people's lives.
Braden's youth pastor says what's happening isn't just a moment, it's the beginning of a movement.
Braden's heart has only been that Jesus Christ gets to every single student in Anthony Wayne. And I think with how this is going, I think Jesus Christ is going to reach every student in Anthony Wayne.
We're so grateful for what God's doing.
You know, I'm just a guy with a fat guy with face paint. That's how I look at it, you know. But if I can put a smile on someone's face, then maybe I feel like I made their day, and hopefully I did.
He's one of the most recognizable Buckeye fans in the country, but the Big Nut is about more than face paint and football. Hear about his passion for the community next on the Leaderboard.
If you've ever watched an Ohio State football game, chances are you have seen him. The scarlet and gray face paint, the Buckeye necklaces, and that unmistakable smile. He's a fan favorite, but for John Peters, better known as the Big Nut, that face paint means a lot more than football. Jamison Turbrack and I talk with him about how his role came to be and what it all means to him.
But I've always been a big nut from birth.
It all began back in 1995 at a local Best Dressed Buckeye contest in Sandusky County.
Due to applause, I won that basket of cookies that night, but then I knew I had to do something different the following year because I was up against a bunch of older ladies that wore the fancy stitch cardigan sweaters.
John Peters showed up decked out in his scarlet gear, walked away with a basket of cookies.
So the following year, the grand prize was a 3-foot-high Buckeye snowman for your man cave, and I really wanted to win it bad, so that's when I did the face paint.
A few years later, he took that paint job all the way to Tempe, Arizona for Ohio State's 2002 National Championship game against Miami. When cameras found him in the crowd, the Big Nut became a Buckeye icon overnight.
So I was very blessed to be seen, painted up on the championship game on the DVD, and it's kind of started ever since.
The paint itself is a process, one that takes time, teamwork, and patience. And for that, Peters gives credit to his wife, affectionately known as First Lady Nut.
I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for First Lady Nut. She does all the painting. She would paint about 95% of it, and it used to take an hour and a half, bad mood, 2 hours. Now she's got to scale down to about an hour, and so it is quite of a process.
From the layers of paint to the hundreds of fans who stop for photos every game, it's all part of a routine that's grown beyond the stands.
Well, we became a 501c3 back in 2011, and to date we have raised and given out over $355,000. We're very blessed that we can do this to help students that are going to attend The Ohio State University. And it's our way of paying forward, as the great Woody Hayes always talked about.
The foundation now serves 16 high schools across Northwest Ohio, including every school in Sandusky and Ottawa counties. This year, they'll hand out up to 18 scholarships, funded by donations, fundraisers, and appearances.
I did not graduate from The Ohio State University, and this is a form of healing for me. It really is, because if I can't achieve my goal of receiving that diploma at Ohio State University, but if I can make a small impact on many people that are going to Ohio State, and I could have just a small fraction of being a part of them receiving their diploma, it's a form of healing for me.
And through it all, the long drives, the early mornings, the paint and the passion, Peters says he's still the same guy he's always been.
And I've been very honored and blessed to be able to do what we could do. It is very humbling because, you know, I'm just a fat guy with face paint. That's how I look at it, you know. But if I can put a smile on someone's face, then I feel like I made their day, and hopefully I did.
For the Big Nut, it's more than football. It's faith, family, and the joy of giving back. Because when the Buckeyes sing Carmen, Ohio, he knows he's part of something bigger than the game.
It's just a joy and a blessing to us, myself and First Lady Nut, to be able to help these kids out for college, because they work really hard in the classroom, and they deserve it. They deserve these scholarships, and we're very blessed to be able to do it.
John has lost a lot of weight, as you can tell probably from that. John works at Whirlpool in Clyde, lives in Fremont, and he and his wife, First Lady Nut, Teresa, are very close. Just a wonderful couple.
Well, what an alter ego to have. I didn't even recognize him at first. I was like, is this the same person? And of course, every time I go to cover an Ohio State football game, I always see him right there front and center, and I'm able to say hi. So cool that he's a local guy too, being from Fremont and everything. And to know that it goes deeper than just the fun of a football game, that he's helping students, means a lot.
He's still working. He takes vacation time to go to these road games, and he has to pay for those tickets also in Columbus. He doesn't get freebies anywhere.
That is commitment if I've ever heard it. Well, congrats to Big Nut, but Anthony Wayne football is playoff bound, and this is after a dramatic walk-off win over Findlay. Head coach Andy Brungard stopped by to talk about the clutch kick, overcoming injuries, and the resilience that's defined the Generals season. Here's part of his conversation with Chase Bachman.
Andy Brungard is here. Andy, thank you so much for coming into the studio and doing this. I know I've been trying all season to get you in at some point, and just love having you and talking to you about football. How's life? How are things recently?
Yeah, things are great. We had a big win on Friday. I know that's how you want to go out on week 10 and finish on a high note going to the playoffs. So we're excited about our home game on Friday and see where things go from here.
Absolutely. Regular season is done. As you were saying, a week 10 win. It was huge for you guys. Take people through that win, what it meant. You guys had a walk-off field goal essentially against Findlay. Kind of take me through that win.
Yeah, I think to go through that win, you have to go kind of through part of our season. We've had 12 season-ending injuries for different reasons, and our offense has kind of evolved. And so we went into Friday saying, guys, we're going to throw it 42 times. And we put it on the back of our skilled players like Cam Miller and Eli Donowa and Jathan Volts and Drayton McLaughlin and Mason Taylor. And we just kind of let them all get the ball as many times as possible. And, we had a 4th and 4 at the end of the game that we threw to Cam Miller on our sidelines. And we kind of knew, Bo's always told me he can kick 5 to 10 yards farther on turf. So I took him at his word, and he hit 2 clutch field goals, one of them at the end of the game to win it.
Yeah, it was just insane, watching the highlights going back in that game and kind of seeing how you guys did that, because you were leading for a little bit. Finley eventually takes the lead, and it's like, oh man, like what are we going to do? Like what's going to happen for Anthony Wayne? And like you said, you guys were able to go down there. You completed some really clutch passes, and you just enough to get within field goal range. And Seelenbinder hits that field goal. I mean, it was just incredible for you guys. And I'm so glad you brought up the injury part of it, because that really is a huge part of this season, whether or not we want to be defined by the injuries. You guys have, like you said, had so many injuries. Just what's that like when you lose guys like that on the O-line, you lose guys in the skill position? Like what's that like, losing guys that can really kind of derail a season, but you guys have managed to kind of stay engaged and stay winning?
I think losing players is harder than losing a game, because they give you, as a coach, they give you everything they have, and it's pretty hard to take emotionally. Honestly, as a coach, I take everyone to heart. Going back to Daniel Losick, had a knee injury. He's out for the season. He's a sophomore, but he was going to be a big impact player for us in July. And you leave July devastated, like a couple days devastated. And then Zane Cudzia had one week 1. I mean, he fell on air, broke his collarbone, like just at practice, no defense. And it's just been a weird year. Roman breaks his collarbone against Whitmer, and you can feel your team kind of deflate, and as a coach, you try not to let those things distract you. You try and encourage the next kid that goes in. But, my own son, I think 2 weeks ago, was like, man, Dad, I really miss Roman. And you just constantly feel like there's a piece missing as the season goes on. But your team tries to rally around the fact that they're going to go play in place of that kid. So, the next kid steps in, he's representing Roman, and, or Zane, or a Daniel Losick, or you can get on the list, a Wyatt Miller, or, whatever impact player it is. Every time a kid goes down, and that's what I love about our team. Another kid steps in and says, all right, I'm going to replace them, so I'm not going to let them down if I'm going to be in their stay or in their stead when I'm on the field. And that's what makes programs like us special, I think.
Toledo's favorite mascot duo has been crowned. We'll reveal which hometown pair took the top spot in this week's WTOL Leaderboard poll. Now, this will bring us to our WTOL Leaderboard poll of the week. Northwest Ohio home to some of the most iconic mascot duos. Now, last week we asked you, which one is your favorite?
Well, my favorite is Muddy and Madonna, but your choices were Muddy and Madonna from the Mud Hens, Spike and Catrick from the Walleye, Freddie and Frida Falcons, and Rocky and Roxy Rockets.
The results are in with 50% of the vote, Muddy and Madonna of the Mud Hens. Second place, Freddie and Frida Falcon. Rocky and Roxy came in third. Spike and Catrick came in last place. That kind of surprises me.
I know, especially ahead of their home opener this weekend.
Yeah, I think they haven't been around as long as the two college mascots have been, but unquestionably, Muddy Mud Hen's been around for a long, long time. Its costume has morphed over the years. Then, of course, they added Madonna after a few years. But the Mud Hens are just such a staple in our community and really nationally as well, almost, with AAA baseball.
I know, and fans may go crazier for the Walleye, but Muddy and Madonna have that history, as you mentioned, so
yeah, for sure. Now that'll bring us to our upcoming poll of the week. Fall is here, and the temps and the tee times are dropping, so we want to know, do you still play golf in the fall?
Do you, Dan?
I do not. I played my last round of golf 2 weeks ago, put them away. No way, no how am I playing when it's back in the 50s?
Yeah, under 75, no thanks. I'm with you on that. Your choices are yes, it's the best time of year to play, no, because it's too cold, or no, because football takes over.
That too.
To vote, simply scan the QR code on your screen right now or head to WTOL11.com and head to the sports section. As always, we'll be back here next week to break down the results.
Finally, it's time for our Parent Athlete Shout Out of the Week. This week's star is a young volleyball standout who's already making her mark on the court.
At just 12 years old, Maylee is quickly becoming a name to watch with Premier Volleyball Club. Take a look. Known for her leadership, hustle, and all-around skill set, Maylee continues to impress teammates and coaches. Whether she's serving up aces, setting the tone for her team, or diving to keep a play alive, Maylee gives it everything she's got every time she steps on the court.
Off the court, she brings that same drive to the classroom, showing the focus and determination of a true student athlete. Congratulations, Maylee.
Love to see volleyball getting some love here. Young volleyball player reminds me of myself, especially those tournaments, being in that hot convention center, in that arena. So many games going on 100 courts, but you're just all zoned in on what's going on right in front of you. Good memories.
Volleyball is a fun game to watch. I enjoy it because every point there's action, right?
Yeah.
Basketball kind of has its lulls a little bit, but volleyball is hard to beat.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for another episode of the Leaderboard here on WTOL 11+. I'm Noelle Blumel.
I'm Dan Cummins from our entire Leaderboard team. We'll see you next game.